right. What's going on, Ustream? We got some classic tunes playing in right now. About to start the radio show, Build and Destroy Radio. You are now rocking with the best in West Philly and Southwest Philly. We'll be on the air in about 2 minutes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll be right with you. They're playing some stuff.
They coming with heat, ain't they?
Yeah.
They gotta get a drink on this.
You know what I mean? Something brown. Something brown. Something
With a couple of
brown.
cubes.
Exactly.
One or two cubes.
The wax poetic.
Slide glass.
Yeah. Little indentations in the joints. Yeah.
Smoking jacket on.
My goodness.
Put the little hot karate on. This is definitely red light.
Red light.
No question.
Red light.
With the Paisley smoker's jacket on. You were so right, man. That FE is just like 3 joints, maybe.
It's so disappointing.
It is. I thought you was way too harsh.
It's
That's being too harsh.
No, it's not. They tried too much to go to the left.
They definitely did.
It's like, dude,
Foreign exchange.
Oh yeah, that album's it.
Yeah, man. It's just, and I know you want to get fly with it and explore little options, do some things, but nah, man. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. That's all.
Nah, they tried. Yeah.
It didn't work.
You ready to go?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just well. The time is 7. The time is now 7 minutes after 9, and you are ready, as we are, to build and destroy. What's happening? West Philly, Southwest Philly. You are now rocking with the best. Build and Destroy Radio is now on your airwaves and on Ustream at ustream.tv. Type in the search engine Build and Destroy Radio and we will come right up on your screen. November the 4th, Philadelphia, Wednesday evening. Spring-like, early fall-like, Wednesday evening. We are in the house. My name is David Hanna. My co-host, the immeasurable Derek Adger, comedian extraordinaire. Music director, Mark Bennett. Master of ceremonies himself. DJ, MC, whatever you need. He is the man. You are in tune with Build and Destroy Radio. Good evening, fellas. What's happening?
What's good, Philly? What's good? West Philly, Southwest Philly. What's happening this evening?
Oh, man, Derek. You know, I feel invigorated as a citizen and denizen of Philadelphia. I exercised my right to vote yesterday.
I saw.
Posted on Facebook. Me and my little man got out to the polls and did our thing, and we have a new mayor in the city.
Was there ever any even doubt?
Not at all. Not at all. Who did he even? He ran against a woman. I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
But Mr. Kenny officially was officially coronated in as the new mayor. Michael Nutter is out. Mr. Kenny is in.
Well, he's not coronated. He doesn't take office until January.
Well, coronation doesn't go until
absolutely.
Yeah, what we're going to call this, the unofficial dubbing.
Absolutely.
Yes. Title has been officially handed over to Mr. Kenny as the city's next mayor.
There you go.
You got any expectations for him stepping in?
He's got to pick up. Nutter did an admirable job.
That's my next question.
It's a hard job, man. Be a mayor of a major city, man. It's not an easy task.
It was no joke.
It's much easier for these small, burgs and provinces that, you know, the dot Pennsylvania. Not easy being mayor there, but Philadelphia's it's no easy task.
A lot of
and I give
parts.
Nutter his props, man. He did some good things, did some bad things, but overall, I thought he increased the city's viability, increased what he did what he said he was going to do.
And that was
opening up economic opportunities, making the city more attractive. Making the city more, financial gain for outsiders. You know, he did a lot as far as increasing tourism, the convention center thing that was all under his stewardship.
Right.
You know, so I give Mike Nutter crazy props. I think he did a great job. And
So overall,
congratulations to him going out.
would you give? How would you rate it? Is that a build or destroy for Miles?
That's a build. That's a build
For Major
Definitely
Nutter's
a
tenure.
build.
That's a build.
Definitely a build.
Definitely
That's a bill from Mike.
Definitely a bill.
You agree with that, Snoop?
Yes.
Is that
What's
something?
your take on Mr. Nutter?
Definitely. A lot of things with the when he came in, I know one of his platforms was the violence in the city, which is hard to control. But he brought in, I believe, new commissioner,
Yes.
Ramsey, and they did what they could do with these crazy folks out here. But yeah, because like you said, the convention center, a lot of overseas acquisitions of new businesses, and the whole Pope thing. I mean, Philly's on the map, man. Philly's on the map right now, going strong.
Yeah, a definite build on my part too. I can't lie. I had my issues with Mayor Nutter.
Well, you're a city employee.
I'm a city employee.
Yeah.
So,
And we were under his thumb. He basically had us on lockdown in regards to our contract for a number of years, as he allocated money towards other things, and kind of left us on the back burner as captive audiences to, the moves that he was making in every corner of the city. So, I felt some kind of way. It was a struggle, but in the end, trying to look at it as objectively as I could, he has done a lot. You see moves and growth in every corner of the city, and parts of the city where you never saw any growth. You're starting to see the skyline moving west. Into the University City, Drexel area. You're starting to see a skyline. You're seeing moves downtown. Downtown is ever changing. Changes in, like I said, every corner of the city. West Philly, South Philly, North Philly. North Broad Street is about to become a major destination point. Something they've talked about for a number of years, and now you're starting to see it come to fruition, from Temple running all the way down to
Avenue of the Arts.
Avenue of the Arts. Yes, it's all connecting now, and that's been the vision, like I said, for a while. So, Mayor Kenny definitely has to keep the ball rolling. There's a definite momentum in a positive direction with this city as being a global destination with all the events that went on in the past couple of years. And he's definitely made some moves. So Kenny has to keep that moving. And it'll be interesting to see what he does in his tenure. So we want to welcome, Build and Destroy gives a big welcome to Mayor Kenny
Absolutely.
and his win yesterday.
Yes.
Did y'all vote?
I did not vote. This is the first election in a number of years I didn't vote.
No.
Well, I worked till 7 o'clock, and I wasn't able to get to the polls in time. That's certainly no excuse. I could have gotten up early. But, my sleep schedule, my sleep habits precipitate me from doing that. I'm regularly not an early riser.
Listen,
let's be clear.
I'm sure the forest fires who are rolling in their graves as you speak on the airwaves will, they'll fully take your sleep schedule into effect. It doesn't matter the lashes they took and the miles they walked to, and the sufferings they went through to give all people of color right to vote. But you go ahead and get your 8 hours in.
I didn't hit my snooze 3 times. How about that?
As long as you get your 8 hours in, that's what's important there.
And you know what, y'all?
That's all.
For me, I didn't vote, and I'm not in the city, so I didn't. If I would have went to the polls, I wouldn't have known what I was, what, when, where, why I was voting for anyway. Typically I would just go support my party.
Yes,
Right.
party line.
But
Sometimes that's all
the
it's
party
about.
lines are blurred to me now because
They are.
They definitely
because
they
there
definitely
are my party that I affiliate myself with I support their economic platform, but I don't support a lot of their moral platform. So should I pull for my economics, or should I pull for my moral standards? So it's I look on social media, everybody, I voted, it's like a little badge of honor or whatever. But I mean, to your point, it's the first time in a long time I haven't voted. To be honest, just haven't been enthused with anything political, man.
No, I haven't been enthused.
Anything. Now, if I was a resident of the city, I would have definitely participated in the mayoral election, but
Right.
I would have been voting for the sheriff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And in the city, there were some questions that were kind of important.
Yeah.
It took me a little time to work through the ballot. There were some things, some people I didn't recognize. The people I recognized, I voted for. The ones I didn't, I kind of just went party wise. But like you said, Stu, it's blurred lines. It's the Robin Thicke approach when you come to voting. It's definitely blurred lines in regards to different stances that people have. It's not so much about red or blue. It's about who you side with in regards to their opinions on certain key topics.
You got to do your homework, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's turned a lot of people off. For me, as I'm getting older, I got to do my homework. Because like you said, Snoop, I just can't pull that party line.
Right.
I'm getting a lot more cynical and I'm getting more skeptical of government. So I need to know in depth what your particular stance is, whether you're the mayor or whether you're just the city comptroller or the sheriff or the writer of wills. Whatever your deal is, you almost have to know that now. So you're going down saying, hey, this person is more about what I'm about morally and from a ethics standpoint. So you have to do more homework, just going in and blindly pulling the party line. And I like to consider myself an educated voter. I don't want to be one of those people just pull this party line. I don't want to do that. Because sometimes you do that, you wake up the next day like, whoa, who do we vote for? 6 months into the tenure, somebody's caught up in some scandal with prostitutes in a hotel. And you pulled the party line for him without stopping to look at his track record or what he's about. You find yourself with a lot of regret, and I don't like to do that. So it takes a lot of voter homework in order to make sure you're voting accordingly.
Well, that made me. You know what? One of the things I thought about that because one of the key elections was for retention of judges. So judges, I wasn't sure about, or I had reservations. I just didn't vote because I think you could vote in like up to 5 or 6. I voted maybe for 3. I left the other ones alone because I didn't know them, and I got kind of leery because I was like, I might vote for this person, don't know him, and they might have a stance that could be very, bipolarly opposite of what I believe in. So if I got into a situation where I have to appear in front of a judge, and I voted this man in, I started thinking like that. Like you said, as you get older, it gets deeper.
Yeah.
So you're not just pushing Democrat and hitting vote and then just walking out the curtain. I'm looking things over. I'm like, do I know this person? So I didn't do all my homework. It's not like I read a brief synopsis of every judge's stance in their positions. I just kind of went with who I knew. Who I knew their track record a little bit, and I just went that way. And those I didn't know, I didn't even vote.
Yeah.
And then the questions, I had to read each of the questions like 2 or 3 times to get a full understanding before I voted on that. So I think you said something key. As we get older, it gets deeper in the minds of Minolta in regards to going down that ballot and making your choices. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not something to be taken lightly these days. So something else not to be taken lightly. President Obama took his stance and drew, a line in the sand in regards to backing the Black Lives Matter movement. He basically got that movement. They got the president. The president got their back.
Right.
He basically said it's legitimate. That movement is legitimate. There was a gathering at the White House for the Forum on Criminal Justice System. Obama and members of Congress and others are pushing for changes to make the system fairer, such as reducing prison terms for nonviolent offenders. And during that conference on the criminal justice system, there was a question asked to him about the Black Lives Matter movement. Basically, he said, these are legitimate things that are unique to black people, and they're speaking on it. And they're not just making this stuff up. It's legitimate, and that's what their movement is about. And he reiterated a fact that we all knew in the Build and Destroy room and in the Lemon Drop Lounge, is that this is not levied against we hate the police or we hate white people.
Right.
This is about the injustices that have been going on for the past several years and the deaths that are mounting at an alarming rate at the hands of the justice system and the police and law enforcement. Right. So, I think I know what you guys stand on, but I want to speak for you. Where you at with that? You side with Obama?
I do side with him to an extent. It's funny because we talked about this in one of our earlier shows previously, that he's becoming more, I don't want to say black, but he's getting more in line with issues, more blackish. I expect him like a month before he gets out of office, he's going to be wearing True Religions and a button up. You know what I mean? Coming to the podium like I'm good, what's good?
He really is black now.
You know? So he has that liberty to do things that I don't think he had the ability to do earlier in his tenure. So that's a good thing. But I think Barack, he's going to think as clearly and as lucidly as possible in this, because he still has a lot to lose as the president. He's still trying to go out and pass as much legislation as possible and work side by side with the Republicans. So he still has an image to portray. But I think he's just he sees the good in the movement, which I think a lot of people don't. You got to take it for what it is and realize that a lot of the negativity has been skewed by the media. I'm not the biggest fan of the Black Lives Matter movement. I have my own personal reasons for that. But I stand by what their ultimate goal is, to bring light to law enforcement adjustment and what's injustice and what's happening to young black African Americans and young black women, black folks in general, minorities.
Yeah.
And even, the downtrodden, not necessarily black people. I think Black Lives Matter stands for a lot of people that are just downtrodden, not necessarily black. So if you take time to do the homework, and the good thing about the Black Lives Matter, you'll see that it's a lot more inclusive than people tend to paint it in the movie,
And I think that one of the biggest hindrances to it is the actual name. The Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And it excludes a lot of people just from a naming perspective.
And that's part of our problem with the
And I heard something today. It was a little satire, and it was asking. It says it was a white person that was saying, "Should I be offended, or should I feel like it's racism that you have a black entertainment television? What if I had white entertainment television?" It's just the exclusion in the name, and it's not just Black Lives. I mean, and when it first started, I think people tried to change All Lives Matter, Innocent Lives Matter, whatever. I mean, life is precious.
But that's not what it's about.
No, but when you, unfortunately, in this country, and when you have a president that is African American, and you say things from a black standpoint. You exclude people, and with these political parties and these, we can't even get bipartisan. How are we going to get cross cultural? So it's and like I say, I agree with the movement because I understand what the movement is from a perspective of, to me, innocent lives, all lives, human life matters. But when what is being shown and what is coming out on an everyday basis now with cell phones and multimedia is that the injustices to a black person, I get it, but it sometimes you have to have, I always say, things should be done at the correct time and should be done in a tactful, tasteful manner.
I think that movie has done that overall.
It has been. It's just, as I said, just in the name.
Right.
And when if I handed you a flyer and it said Korean upliftment of Korean, injustice, you would be like, I'm not Korean. But that may not be what it's about. It's about injustice to people.
Sure.
Right.
But
exactly.
Yeah, so
injustice
it'll exclude some people at certain
by default.
Right. Yeah. And the whole thing to me was, like you said, Snoop, is about injustice. overall of
Right.
people, and the Black Lives is just a rallying point
Of course.
because of the what is going on at the
Right.
hands of law enforcement. But I think we're in a very interesting time right now in this country because you talk about people being turned off about the name Black Lives and whatnot. So, you know, we talk about that, but yet we have a hit television show that's called Blackish.
Right.
You know, has fully been accepted. It's a top 10 show.
Yeah.
And when that show first came out,
It
I was
was-
like, "Ooh, I
It
don't
was
know how this
that
is
first
gonna,
episode.
it's going to be interesting how
That
this works
first,
out."
I had so many problems with that first episode.
The first one?
The very first episode.
I didn't see it.
I was on my soapbox, like, why would you do that? Why would you name the show Blackish?
Right.
And that first episode just struck me so wrong. But since, I mean, I'm a
They
big
found their
proponent.
voice.
I'm a big proponent.
Yeah, that show
of
has found his voice.
Good
It's hit
show.
his stride.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they've got a star. Anthony
You know what it
Anderson just
reminds
won
me
what's television's awards? An Emmy. He just won an Emmy.
It reminds me of a lot of Boondocks.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a lot of Boondocks.
Same kind of
It deals with those
temperature,
issues.
same kind of feel.
They deal
Yeah.
with the underlying issues from
Right.
different
In a
angles,
humorous way,
with the
from a
father,
different-
the
right.
mother, the kids,
Yep.
and the co-workers. I mean, it's hilarious.
Good comparison.
It's hilarious.
Very good comparison. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan of Blackish. I don't find myself watching it a lot, but when I do watch it, I
Well, we're
enjoy
here
it.
for one.
Is it on Wednesdays?
Yeah, we're on the air for one.
That'll do it.
And
Yeah.
so I always
yeah.
have
Which
to,
is also why I'm 2 episodes behind on Empire. So
I was off last week because of the World Series.
I'm
Yeah.
done with
you
it.
tapped out.
Are you tapping out of Empire already?
Did I miss something?
But Jamal just got snatched, man. We can
Hey,
see what
man, that's
happened.
the
I heard
problem. That's
about
must
that.
see TV.
That's
man.
must see
I heard
TV still.
about
Yeah, Jamal got snatched, and he seems to be in harm's way right now. So we'll see what happens on the old DVR tonight.
There you go.
When we watch it later in the week.
Riveting.
Yeah, riveting TV. It's still compelling. It's still compelling. I have my points of contention that we've clearly outlined in
Right.
past episodes of Build and Destroy, but it's still very watchable. Still very watchable. So we'll see. So Obama did his thing. He backed up the Black Lives Matter movement. I think he heard us talking, so he said, "I better get on the train."
Absolutely.
Because Build and Destroy is backing up Black
That's
Lives
right.
Matter.
And
So
if Build and Destroy's back in it, that's saying something.
then doggone
You
it,
better know it.
I
It's a
better
bill. It's a bill.
It's a bill. It's a definite bill for the Black Lives Matter movement. If you'd like to build with us, give us a call. The lines are open. They're wide open at 215-427-0882. That's
That's
the Build and Destroy
472.
hotline.
Did they change that? Is that
Did they change it?
472?
Oh,
Because we were having issues with folks who did it
Okay.
last week, so
Okay.
they
They
changed
did.
that.
I'd like to announce a change. Many people have been trying to call in the last couple weeks and have not been able to get in. That's because we have been giving you the wrong number. Okay, the correct number to call, the Build and Destroy hotline, is 215-472-0882. That is the number to dial if you want to talk to us and get in on the conversation at Build and Destroy Radio. Again, let me read it one more time. 215-472-0882. Dial into WPEB and talk to Build and Destroy Radio. We love to have you in on the conversation and rap to us about what we're talking about this evening and anything else you want to talk about. We're going to take a brief pause for the calls right now. The time is just about 8:30. 9:30, excuse me. Time did fall back this week. You know, you have to excuse me folks, I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm fighting through it. I'm playing hurt right now this week. You know, and my partners will definitely pick me up. But again, this is Build and Destroy Radio, live on Ustream. Ustream.tv. Type in the search engine, Build and Destroy Radio. We will come right up on your device, your mobile, your laptop, your desktop. And we're just getting things started right now, but we'll be right back. Again, y'all, this is Build and Destroy Radio. Thank you for watching and listening. You got announcements?
You got announcements.
You got something?
Yeah, I actually took the announcements home last week by mistake.
Okay.
I apologize.
So you stuck with it.
Yeah.
You were telling me. Who won last week?
We tied.
Everybody
No, it
did?
was tied. That's we tied.
Anyway,
Even when we switched up, the wings balanced
Yeah.
out, and we wound up tying.
Wow. Soundtrack's rolling, still rolling too. Yeah. So no wonder why people couldn't get through it.
that's my bad. I'm not staying
You did that, Snoop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I made some moves.
Full part by the Snoop stick. This will do this boy George thing next.
Hip hop question for us, Eric?
I didn't do it.
We'll work something in something.
Absolutely, indeed.
So that's not working yet?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though? Just to show how much heat that Stars just randomly put on the season finale of Power. And you could feel so much more weight how good that John was, man. I watched that like I hadn't seen it before. I was like, damn, I forgot.
See the finale, you said?
Yeah, for this past season.
Oh, okay,
They
yeah,
just
yeah.
came up like they just put it on randomly. I was flicking through, it was on.
Wow.
Man, that season finale was so damn good. There is no way
Yeah.
I can hold
Yeah,
it.
no, it can't. It just can't. It can't.
Yeah.
So riveting. So riveting.
Riveting. Like I said, it was like I didn't see it. It was like I never
Edge
saw
of
it
your
before,
seat.
yeah. You good?
Yes, I'm ready.
We are back. Build and Destroy Radio, WPEB 88.1 FM, Ustream.tv, search Build and Destroy Radio. We're back on the air right now. I'm about to roll into some community announcements. Derek, what you got going on
Yes,
in West
sir.
Philly this week?
Well, we have if you are 60 years old, a Philadelphia homeowner, and your gross household income is less than $19.45 per month for one person, or $26.22 for two, you may be eligible for free minor home repairs and modifications. Those of us who may have family members or friends or relatives, neighbors over the age of 60 years old, this program may appeal to you. Faucets, doorbells, railings, locks, grab bars, and smoke detectors all potentially can be fixed. Call PCA Senior Housing Assistance Repair Program at 215-765-9040 for more information. Once again, that phone number is 215-765-9040 for the PCA Senior Housing Assistance Repair Program. And we also have the City Life, the City Life Neighborhood Clinics open house. Essentially, that is taking place. Let's see the exact dates on that. I'm sorry, guys, I'm blanching on that. November the 5th, 2015, 12 o'clock at the University City Life Clinic. Interested members and their families are encouraged to stop by the University City Clinic Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays now through December 3rd to receive a free clinic tour, meet the clinic care team, and enjoy light refreshments. Again, this is for healthcare in the City Life Neighborhood Clinics open house. It says University City Life Clinic, 37 South 40th Street, Philadelphia, PA 19104.
Okay. I like the one you read about the home repairs for the
That's
seniors.
critical,
good.
isn't it? That's real critical.
Yeah, I get called OG and old head a lot in the street. So I wonder if I can get over and get some. I need a couple things done. You know,
You got a couple railings.
I got a couple railings, a
Why not?
doorbell that's out right now. I could
So-
really use that. My dog going so. You know, maybe.
Absolutely.
You know, I hope I'm not I don't appear that old, but if I need it,
It's there.
I can let the beard grow out a little bit. I might be able to get over. I don't know. But good announcements, Derek. Always something going on that is of service to our community in West and Southwest
Building the
Philadelphia.
Destroy is all about service.
That's what it's about,
Never
servicing
forget that.
our community.
Absolutely.
That's what WPEB is about, and certainly that is what Build and Destroy Radio is about. Shout out to the show that precedes us, The Round Table with Barry, Cynthia, and Denise. They do their thing weekly. It's a information fest that they hold every Wednesday before we come on the air from 7 to 9. Barry gives goo gobs of information to the public. It's entertaining, and it's another service that WPEB gives to the community, almost like a gift of information. So you guys need to check that out. The Round Table with Barry, Denise, and Cynthia. Got some weird things going on in the news right now. One of the things that caught my eye was a little tidbit about Boy George, Mr. Karma Chameleon fame, Boy George. Boy George is currently sitting as one of the hosts of the UK version of The Voice.
Right.
And he dropped a little gem on the audience when they were talking about producers and collaborations that each of the judges has worked with over the years. As we hear the soothing melody and sounds of Culture Club featuring one Boy George playing in the background. But you know, guys, Boy George, he took that information. Everybody talked about different people they collaborated with. Boy George took it a step further, and he talked about people he collaborated with in bed. And he put a little tidbit out there, and I want to get your guys' reaction. He said people that he slept with, one of them was Prince. The purple one from Minneapolis.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't know about you, but to all Prince's ages, I'm a huge Prince fan,
Same.
as most of us are in this room. And all the lace wearing and, you know, the cut off shirts. I never for one instant took Prince as dabbling with men.
I never did either.
I really did
It's
not.
shocking. A lot of people, I never did.
Nah, I never
did. Probably because from the gate, this man showed. I mean, even took him to Dirty Mind days. I remember going to the videos that he had. I think even like the music, and just his music and the lyrics, I think it was pretty clear.
Right.
His preference was.
His preference was.
And like he said, and through all of that, he was just able to transcend it. And he never caught a scrape to me. The sheen never wore off him.
Eye makeup, lace, boots, heels, be damned. He, you know, always took him as a man's man for some reason. You know,
Absolutely.
Kind of a
Did
strange.
you feel that way too? Was that earlier or through the later years?
I always felt like, just like Charlie Murphy. You know you ain't get that shirt out the men's section. I put it like this. There was never any evidence. There was never any evidence with Michael Jackson. Right. But if you want something to light, with either one of them,
if you split the screen down the middle, and you said es muy macho, Michael Jackson, Prince.
I would go.
Which one would you take?
I would go.
You're going Prince, right?
Of course.
Yes.
But if there was DNA proof, I would not be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
Right.
If Prince was both ways.
So if you're in the audience at the UK taping of The Voice and Boy George drops that bomb, which he did on October the 31st,
but then
you would have been like, I'm not surprised.
I would have been like, whoa, like, because you never heard it.
Right.
We never heard Luther Vandross.
Sure.
You never heard.
Yeah, but you know which way that was going. You could infer. We're talking inference skills.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just going Freddie Jackson. You never
again inference skills.
Yeah.
You know what's the difference between Freddie Jackson and Luther and those guys? They weren't in a video with in a movie with Apollonia,
right?
You know, in that bedroom scene, you know, where everything with the whole stop and all that.
Right.
They never had a scene like that. That kind of set the tone for
and it came
my youth and a lot of our youth.
But who was saying stop?
That was Apollonia. That was Apollonia, but they were kind of teasing, and Prince was teasing her.
She called him King Kong.
Right. And
he said stop.
That's a classic scene, dude. Please don't leave me, Kevin. Because David probably knows the whole scene.
I know
He
it's
can
three different
probably at
languages.
least,
I know.
he can at least give the whole scene
Yes.
bit by bit.
Yes.
But that scene is such a classic scene. When the song came on the end, David,
Right.
is that just out of pocket?
Come on, man.
I mean,
That's-
come
and
as a
that
youth, as a youth, you just that solidified to me. Prince was a god.
I wore a hole in that VHS
Oh,
cassette rewind to
man.
that song.
Oh, man.
We're all Prince fans.
Right.
Well, explain what Mr. I'll call him Mr. What Mr. George went on to try to clean it up.
He tried to clean it up.
Did he really? I didn't know he tried to clean it up.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the cleanup. What was the cleanup?
He put it out there. I mean, he literally, they said he froze the whole show. They had to stop taping.
How about that?
So when he dropped that bomb on him, the producers of the show ran out and quickly had to speak to each of the guests. And then when they went back off camera, Boy George had to play it down, saying that what was his excuse? He said he had a poster of Prince above his bed in his bedroom, and he would always, look at it before he went to sleep, dreaming of being Prince.
I see.
And how he idolized him. So he was just playing when he said, "I slept with him."
Right.
The cat's out the bag
Yeah,
now it's up for conjecture.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good reverse job.
Yeah.
That's some good spin doctrine.
It is.
But he said he slept with Prince. Prince's people, of course, have no comment.
Right. Which they should.
Which they should. Don't speak on it.
Yeah, because once you open your mouth, you win it.
Yeah.
You win it.
So
Don't
you don't want to put your foot in it.
Absolutely.
You don't want to put your foot in it. So I don't know. It threw me for a loop on that one. I had to think about that for a minute.
Yeah. I don't want to think in terms of that. I would prefer to think that it's not the truth. Just because I had always held Prince in such a high esteem as, like you said, David, a man's man.
Right.
So I would hope that's not true. But at the end of the day, like Mark says, with these celebrities and with rumors about this particular celebrity having an experience, and some of the most macho actors that you're hearing about possibly have had same-sex experiences. You can't put it past anybody in Hollywood. Any star, you just can't do it.
And you know what? Like, Prince is an artist. He actually went by artist.
Right.
Prince is an artist. And I heard somebody give a comment about Frank Ocean one time. And I think we all agree Frank Ocean is very talented.
Dope artist.
Dope artist. And the comment was, he's so talented, he has to be that. And what was meant was like the gathering so many
to be able to be on that plane,
just that level.
Absolutely.
And it's like, and that's my personal opinion. I never knew Prince, but I just was like, dude, his tendencies are just, you know what I mean? And I know every woman probably wanted Prince, but it was just something about him, man. Like,
it always was. I mean, it's pretty obvious what it is about. I mean, you notice it, but you're talking about a dude that has chopped down some of the finest women on the planet. I mean, he's up there in the Hall of Fame.
And I'm not saying that he's whatever, but I'm just saying when I saw the comment that Boy George made, my initial reaction was, I can see it. You know what I mean? If somebody said, yo, you know that boy with such and such, you know that, and I'll be like, nah, like I can't see that.
Right.
But if you say something like that, and you be like,
not gonna surprise
me. I can see that. You know what I mean? I can see it. Right. So that's my stance.
I got it. That's fair enough. That's fair enough, Mark.
Yeah, I mean.
But that being said, David, your prescription tonight is to go home and play Purple Rain 3 times.
I'm gonna have to.
You'll be just fine.
I'm gonna pick it up.
Play the Scandalous Sex Suite. Play the Scandalous Sex Suite 4 times and call me in the morning.
Right.
You're just fine, David.
That'll get you your Prince dilemma. That'll get you through your Prince dilemma this night. Yes. Speaking of prescriptions, does Chris Brown have a prescription for what's in his plastic cup that he's been spotted with over the past couple weeks that are leading the paparazzi and media to believe that he has a syrup or should I say scissor problem, one that haunted Lil Wayne as well. It seems to be that many media outlets have been recording and publishing photos of Chris Brown and his crew walking with, double styrofoam cups. One of his crew members was seen carrying a prescription that looked like a cough syrup bottle with some orange soda and filling Chris's cup with it.
Wow.
And it's leading people in his inner circle to believe that he has a problem. And they're alarmed, number one, for his health reasons, and number two, they're afraid that if it does get proven, or the negative photos that are out there could prove to be damning in his custody battle for his little daughter.
Sure.
So, Chris Brown has had a lot of struggles over the past couple of years with different demons that he's been battling. It's not hard to see he has a little bit of an anger management issue. He has a little hands issue when he, touched up Rihanna a couple of years ago. He had to fight through that public, that PR nightmare. And now he's being seen walking with styrofoam cups.
Right.
His people quickly, got hold of got wind of the report that was about to get leaked out from TMZ about his alleged Sarah problem. And Chris Brown quickly went to Twitter to refute all claims about this, saying it's outrageous, it's a bunch of BS, they're always coming at me, blah, blah, blah. So what say you, Derek, about Chris Brown and some of his struggles in this latest?
To me, I think it's par for the course, man. Hollywood and celebrity is filled with such excess.
Right.
It's about what's going to get you higher, what'll get you drunker, what'll get you more intoxicated. I like Chris Brown's music. I'll say that. I like his music. I'm not a fan of him per se, in the sense that you want to like the celebrities whose music you listen to. He makes good music, I'll say that. He's a talented performer. But I tend to believe that he may have a problem. When you couple, like you said, his recent behavior, along with the fact that his house was robbed and all the things, is just a constant in the news. The thing when he was banned from going back to, I don't know if it was Switzerland or whatever country that said he couldn't come back because of his legal dealings with Rihanna.
Was it Austria?
I think it might have been Austria.
Yeah,
Australia, maybe?
Australia, it was Australia.
But, when you couple all that together, and I don't want to slander anybody, far be it for us. The opinions on Build and Destroy are not the opinions
and we freely use the word alleged.
Alleged.
These problems.
But, I just think, to me, it's par for the course. So I'll go back to your thing again, Stu, when you said, am I surprised? Not at all.
Right.
If that's the case, if it is, and if it's found out that he has, I won't be in the least surprised. He's got the song, There's Something in This Liquor, there's something in that cup, that song he's got out.
That is he telling
he's got that song, But that song, so he may be kind of hinting or alluding to that, David, but I wouldn't be surprised with Chris Brown.
He wouldn't be the first artist to tell himself that.
I'm just hoping it doesn't end to something tragic.
Interesting.
I wouldn't want to see that happen, because I heard it almost happen to Lil Wayne. I hate to see that happen to Chris Brown.
And it's already happened to one half of
absolutely.
Not the Ghetto Boys,
the
Bun B
3-6 Mafia.
not 3-6.
UGK.
UGK.
Okay, I'm sorry, UGK. Okay.
Yeah. One of my favorite, Bun B's partner.
Oh yeah.
Whose name I cannot think of. Pimp C. Big Pimp C fan. So that promethazine in there, man, is a problem. So
very addictive. I just say, wow, like I don't get it sometimes, man. We talked about with the athletes. We talked about being young.
Same argument, man.
Being affluent at a young age.
Right.
Being celebrity status. But at some point, it's like I don't get it. Like, why jeopardize it?
It's the excess.
It is the excess, but
it's the people around you, man. It's that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your friend. And it's the people around you, the people you surround yourself with, and when you're surrounded by a bunch of people with low moral standard and who are pretty much around you, they're saying they're flunkies who wouldn't think enough to tell you, Chris, man, maybe you should leave that alone, man. You have this to worry about, or you have some things coming up. Your career, you're the keeper of your own career. You have to sustain your career. So these kind of things affect your ability to make music, your ability to think, your ability to sing as a singer. You rely on your voice. That's your trade. So anything that you're going to do to jeopardize your ability to write songs, to dance, to tour, because that's a growing enough venture. You're out, the output that artists, they're touring, regularly doing dates and traveling, and you're partying, which you're certainly allowed to do as a young millionaire, but you have to be the keeper of your own career. And at some point, you become like how my dad always said, you're not 23, you're not 24 anymore. The man's getting up there in age. You gotta start taking care of yourself, man.
That youth excuse is running thin. It's running thin.
It is running thin. It is running
I don't
thin.
get it. I understand the need for the party, for the get high per se, but anyone that's ever stood on a stage or done things musically, that's a high. You stand on a stage in front of 60,000 and people screaming out your name and you like, somebody say ho and everybody say ho, that's a high right there. And it's like, come on, dude. Like, and you talk about a custody battle and you want somebody to let you have your daughter and you already got domestic violence issues.
It's smart decisions.
It's like to your point, somebody needs to tell you. But you know what? If you're at the point where somebody always got to tell you, then you're not worthy of.
You're not worthy of a man on that shit. I agree, man.
It's like, just dude, come on.
And
you on top. He on top.
He's
right
on
now.
top. He's on top. You know what? One
Right
thing we
now.
can't deny. We can talk about all his issues. He's a compelling ass character.
Yeah.
The boy's like a moth to a flame in regards to the talent. Like whenever I watch him dance, whenever I watch him perform, I can't take my eyes off him.
Yeah.
And that's part of his skill set. But at the same time, the problems and the struggles follow him the same way like the dancing and the music does. Like, he can't get away from it. He just is a magnet. Why are you running around Crip walking with Crips and Bloods in LA? Why are you,
Exactly.
you don't have to, he's in such a rush to prove to everybody, excuse my French radio, that he's a down ass nigga all the time. That he's a down dude and he's a real dude and this, that, and the other. Yo, man, you're gonna reel when keeping it real goes wrong, as Dave Chappelle said. You're gonna reel yourself right into some real problem. They just ransacked and ran through his crib.
Right.
This is the second time they
Guns
blazing. They robbed his crib because
people.
you're running around with these sometimey dudes that don't give a doggone about you. But like the saying always goes, this is a continuing discussion that we have, and it makes me sick that we have to have certain discussions week to week. But youth is a gift that is wasted upon the young. And he's going to turn around and have gray in his goatee and be burnt out, and he'll have nobody to look back at but himself to blame that he wasted his time in the spotlight. So, I like Chris Brown. I wish him the best, but, do I believe that he has a problem? He probably does.
Can we take this to the next level?
What's the next level?
Build and destroy style.
Yeah, let's do it. Build and destroy style.
They don't build and destroy. Listen, we have a lineup of topics that we like to get into, but every now and then a topic will spawn another topic.
And we just got to go with it.
We just got to
We
go
got to
with
go
it.
with it.
So I want to know from you guys, being in the world of hip hop, is it you have to be a criminal? Do you have to slang? Do you have to be a weed head? Do you have to be so down that you in the projects every day? Like, is this Chris Brown's dilemma? Like, he's a quote unquote R&B artist, but he's really a hip hop R&B artist. So is it the fact that he has to be so hip hop and so down and so with the syrup movement and getting blazed and thugged out and blah blah. I mean,
I get you.
I
see where you're going.
I'll say something on that.
Yeah, speak on that, my brother.
I mean, it goes back to this industry. Unfortunately, you do to an extent. You can't be clean cut. You can't be the kind of person that has that shows overt value system that goes against what the industry portrays. Because right now the industry is about the drink and getting sipped up and in the club and popping bottles and a constant state of elusiveness where you're not aware of your surroundings.
You know what? And it goes more than just blaming on hip hop. That's a rock star thing.
That's what I mean. And that's what I was about to get to that.
Lifestyle.
I was about to get to that. That's just the industry instead. Period. No one needs to be seen as the clean cut artist. The moment you're wholesome, or you're not the thug type. What is everybody's biggest criticism of Drake? That he's soft.
Right.
Where does that come from?
Right.
What is the point of him being soft? Because he's not tearing up a club. He's not doing all that. We have a caller on.
We have a
there
caller
that
on.
was
I'm going to put him on air. Okay.
Can we put you on the air, caller? All right, we want you to give us that same sentiment. We have a Barry calling in.
Okay. We have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Good evening. What is your
One of the
opinion?
things I was saying, I was listening to you talk about in hip hop music and the drugs and the violence and all of those things. Remember, hip hop music wasn't only a form of entertainment; it was a movement, and that movement was spawned in the inner city communities where these things were very prevalent. They were accoutrements to it. Just like in the black movement, you had to have a bush and a dashiki in the beginning before it became normalized.
Right.
And so what has happened is many people early on, that was a part of their thing. And it was a part of people in the drug culture legalizing their business. Like the Kennedys did with their liquor business and made their sons senators and presidents. The Roosevelt did with their drug business and made their people the blue book in society. Well, this was the way out. And many of them, the drugs and things continued on, and they didn't last, they died out. But those who set that mantle up, one who was doing it, got out of it, like your P. Diddy's and your J.D.'s and all these people, and it moved on to something different and more powerful. So it's not that was an integral part of the genre.
Right.
But Barry, don't you think now, with it being in the position that it is, that we no longer have to do that? We no longer have to be slaves to that mentality, per se?
Some people take the point of that, just like some people take the gun and assassinate people from the movement. Some people take the different parts of the movement, and those people who took that part were addicted personalities from the beginning.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing.
And there's some of them couldn't rap without being high.
Right. I mean, and like I just said, Barry. I mean, tell me if you agree with this. This is more emblematic or emblematic of the rock star lifestyle overall.
Yeah.
You know, not just hip hop. We can go back to Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, and right.
True. The Doors with Jim Morrison.
Right. It's just the lifestyle, right?
People were great. Jim Morrison was an English degree, a great lyric writer. You know, all of these things, these people, and you know what? Just like they say, from genius and talent comes from suffering. But some people still, even after they have that creative outlet, still have other things that are problems within them.
Right, and that's part. And if you ask me, that's part of the things that one of the things that make them great is that inner struggle that they go through. It makes for great art.
Like the blind person has the greatest sense of hearing and the greatest sense of touch. When you lose something, other senses are exaggerated. And so these talented people become overwhelmed in that. But that drugs and everything, remember, what drugs are is something that the body no longer produces. They're not getting serotonin or all those other things that are needed to make you feel good about self, so they become self-medicated.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Anything you receive antibiotics because your white blood cells stop producing it. Any drug they make or something to mimic what the system stops giving you.
Yes.
And some people's systems do not. They need to be medicated.
Right. I mean,
because they have other severe problems, but it also enhances their talent.
It becomes almost a creative crutch.
Yes.
Yeah. They don't know how to function without being high
but then there are
or
other people
influenced.
taking up the balance. Internet don't touch it. Drop of drugs. The vegetarians don't cut the flip. But they're out there businessmen that saw the business aspect of it.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you on blast. Our caller right now is the host of the round table. This is Barry Gordon. Barry again, aka Uncle Knowledge, drops his knowledge on us. It blesses us with some information on the Build and Destroy radio show. Barry, thank you for your comments. Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay, have a good show.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. So, you know, if you have an opinion about Chris Brown, his struggles, we put it out there on Facebook. You can also give us a line. Build and Destroy Radio Hotline, WPEB telephone lines are open. 215-472-0882 is the correct numbers you can call.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to sum my point up.
Oh no, go ahead. Right back to you.
I just basically wanted to say, to me, it's all a residual of the machine. The machine, like you said, of entertainment. Everything that goes on in the entertainment industry happens by design, not circumstance. So, you know, the people with the artists with the drug problems and the artists that, you know, get caught up in the lifestyles of excess, it's all because the machine allows it. And the machine, you know, perpetrates that as the way to become successful. So other artists who come up feel the same way. Everyone now is sounding like Jeezy and Fetty Wap and all these other artists. That's the way to come up. The unintelligible style where you can barely hear what they're saying, barely understand what people are rapping.
Future, like Future.
Now that's the hop, the mumbo thing.
The mumbo.
So now you got artists who previously had, you know, lucid lyrics and were able to speak clearly, are now mumbling and you know, you can't hear the words and not understanding the concept behind the song and what the song means. That's by designs of the machine, because that's what the machine wants. And it's all, and it speaks to a larger level. And I don't want to get into that because I start getting my personal feelings about it. You know what I mean? I was getting to my personal feelings and how I feel about music. And at times when I watch things like the BET Awards and I watch these type of music productions, it makes you have to take a shower at times. And I truly believe that.
No, you're right.
It's so, you know, it's so lacking in morals, so lacking in substance, and it's all designed to keep on putting out that image, to keep this hot. It's unsettling sometimes in the way it happens. Make sure that this remains hot. Make sure that this is on people's conscience. And people have to wake up sometimes and pay attention to what goes on. It gets to the subconscious where people aren't thinking. We're not thinking that we're in the clubs and we're listening to what the music's saying, and nobody's paying attention to what these artists are telling us to do, or what they're espousing, or what they're saying their music is about.
It's drugs
and liquor and you know,
right.
and depravity, and you know, keeping your mind in a lower sense of stagnation, not elevating yourself, not making better of yourself. The trap queen and this and that. So our young people start thinking that's
celebrating
exactly
kind of imagery and stuff.
And our young kids, man, I pity our children.
Right.
But to listen to this on the radio, it's what more do they have to do, man?
Well, you know what?
What more do they have to listen to?
Just speaking on what you're saying there, to piggyback off what you're talking about, it brings to my mind a conversation that I had with a friend of mine who's been a cop for over 20 years. And he was in the streets in North Philly, was his beat, Strawberry Mansion District, all throughout that area. And one of the things that we talked about, he would work the overnight, the graveyard shift sometimes. And I would see him the next day or that week, and we would talk about some of the stuff that he's witnessed, and he would tell me some pretty harrowing stories about what went down during his shift. This is Roland. Okay. This is our buddy Roland.
Okay.
Yeah, it was now, moved on in the upper reaches of the Philadelphia Police Force. Shout out to Roland Lee.
Roland.
I don't want to give him the wrong title. We'll just head honcho Roland Lee of the Philadelphia Police Force. Yes, Big Cheese. Okay. So when he was on the street and he was a foot officer, one of the things that he said that stuck in my mind was, he said, "Dave, I got to tell you, music videos are some of the worst things that happen to our community. Since damn slavery and whatnot." I was like, "What do you mean, man?" And he just spoke about how the imagery and how, like you just talked about, the negative images are celebrated and blown out of proportion without any real boundaries to it. In other words, these kids are raising themselves in the streets. They're sitting in front of a TV all day and they're watching Fetty Wap talk about trap queens and Jeezy talking about Snowman and pushing weight and all this stuff like that.
Right.
And they don't have the influences, mentors, and positive voices behind that to put all that stuff in its proper place. Yeah, to counteract it and put it in its proper place. So that's their reality. So when you look on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock, you see these girls walking to the corner store with 5-inch stilettos on, cheap stilettos at that, breaking down on the side. Their asses are out.
They got stuff that should be in the club at like 2 o'clock or 2 a.m. on a Saturday. They're wearing that Wednesday at 2:30 in the afternoon. You know, young men walking around with tattoos on the side of their face. You know,
they're not hiring.
yeah, there ain't no jobs out here, and you got 3 teardrops coming down your left, you know, below your
A
left.
money sign,
Yeah, so
a dollar sign, a gun, 215, Phillies logo. I love the Phillies, but come on, man.
right, celebrating the strip club game. This, that, and the other. I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. You gotta do what you gotta do to put bread on the table and meals in the baby's mouths, whatever. But it's not something to be celebrated.
Well, and I concur with that statement about the videos. First of all, pictures worth 1,000 words. So you take it from music, where it was more of an imagination, you know, that you had to use. So now it's no imagination.
No.
Now when I talk about the bees and the hoes and this and that, I show it to you, and I show you what it's supposed to look like. And when I'm on the yacht, Jay-Z and Dame Dash, and I'm just pouring Cristal on dime pieces with bikinis on, you know, I'm the man, you know what I'm saying? And I show you my down joint, who's my trap queen, so I'm slinging, so now you eating because I'm slinging in the hood, and you sitting in the house, so when the house get busted, your 19-year-old butt sitting there counting money and stuffing bags.
Right.
Now you done too.
And listen,
You know what?
You're a trap queen.
But you know what? And then the thing is too. And I'm going to go back to my point of the news. When you see kids, 19, 18, 17, robbing stores and shooting people, not just robbing, but they're shooting people.
Right.
So when you go to jail for life, you recognize what happened. Well, you didn't know that it's against the law, my man, to shoot and kill somebody.
Right.
I know. Jesus may say it's cool to smoke that fool because he owes you weight. But understand when you don't think enough, when you're not understanding of consequences in life, and like you said, David, the balance. You think it's fine to go handle things on your own and shoot someone and murder somebody. Your compassion and your understanding of human life is zero.
But wait, real quick. Let's measure this now. You know, we don't want to put this all at the doorsteps of hip hop. This is the entertainment industry overall. This is the entertainment industry overall, because you know we were coming up. You know, Big Hair Metal was in, so Vince Neil and Def Leppard and all these groups were riding around, misogynizing women with women on the hood, and you know, the girls, you know, they're just and they're doing drugs on
the
screens and the other.
Statement though.
But I'm gonna quantify by saying the difference is in a lot of these cases, they have more structure. These kids that are watching these rock videos and stuff. You know, they have a lot of the same type of imagery that blows stuff, reality out the window and this, that, and the other in fantasy. But they have a lot more things in place. Some of them don't, but a large number they do that reel them back in and put things in their proper perspective more than a kid from the hood that uses the stuff and aspires to be the next Jeezy or Fetty or Future. You know what I mean? They don't have the same things in place. This is one of the ills of our community that affects us more than other communities.
And I'll say qualify that statement because what you said is 100% correct. But coming from fighting an uphill battle, if you walked out right now to 52nd and whatever, and you asked who knew a Guns N' Roses song, who knew a Maroon 5 song, you would be hard pressed.
And I feel you. We're speaking to our audience. We're speaking to our constituents. Yes.
With the influence of hip hop, I was gonna say you taking it to a whole nother level because I do think hip hop as a whole has a responsibility. It has a responsibility. Outside of a Luke Fiasco who's giving you just quality? I mean, you gotta dig. And when I say dig, you gotta dig deep. Because the surface level, you're turning out. And
the machine is all about repetition.
All your females are now Nicki Minaj.
Right. What the machine does is, whatever's hot, they replicate it because they follow trends about what's making money.
Take it to the next
So mushmouth hip hop
Mushmouth Southern hip hop is hot right now.
It is.
So everybody's looking for the next blonde, dreaded Southern cat
Wear
that
tight
sounds
clothes.
like that wears tight clothes. You know, so right after Future came
Rich Homie Quan.
Rich Homie Quan
Take it to the
and
next
other
level.
boys.
Take
you
it to the
know,
next
so-
level though. When you talk
Wait,
about
it is.
genocide, you talk about you on the corner slinging them things, you genocide, you hurting the community. What about you in the booth spitting about slinging them things, about smoking them fools, about hitting every joint that walk up and down the block? Is that part of genocide?
Well, I'm just speaking
It
about.
is.
I'm just speaking about my reality. You can't censor my reality. It's the argument.
Where's the
Okay.
responsibility of the industry, of the artists, and of the urban community leaders? You know, everybody gets mad when Al Sharpton steps in, or Minister Farrakhan steps in, or Jesse Jackson, or C. Dolores Tupper, or somebody steps in. And you know, I remember when they were smashing records and
Right.
running them over with it.
Back
And,
in
you
our
know,
era, back
and
in
we
the
were
80s, right.
19, 20, 20, whatever, and it was like, oh, they just tripping. But unfortunately, as you get older and wiser, you start seeing some things, man. It's like we all got young sons in here. If my son came in singing some joint, I mean, I can't even think of a song off the top of my head because I know them, but I don't listen. But you come in singing that crap, and I'll be like, what are you talking about? Like, do you even know what you're talking about? First of all, do you know what a bird is? Do you know what a hand is?
Right.
Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're singing this crap, and it's like there has to be some. And if you remember back in the day, our favorite artists, they put in work. They did gangster rap, whatever. But there would be a song at the end, like a hip hop gospel song.
It's like a Kane.
There would be
Kane and all that.
there would be a joint.
Lean on me or something, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like,
We
you know
can
what?
watch the piece
And it was like, you know what?
Well,
It was a slight balance.
You know what? Let
but
me.
it was a balance.
Okay, there was a balance, but let's go back again to what I said about repetition and replicating what's popular. You're talking about an era when we came up. What was one of the hottest songs? Self-Destruction.
Yes.
You're talking about. So everybody had to have one of those songs.
Right.
So Big Daddy had one on his album. Heavy had one on his album. Salt and Pepper had one on their album. Everybody had to have that Self-Destruction song
Right.
because that song was hot at the time. It drew a lot of attention. It made a lot of money. So again,
But at the same
copying
time,
was
though,
popular.
but to balance that though, people like Chris made that like actually
Their agenda.
made not necessarily made their agenda, but they made it besides just making
It was
it
one-
hot.
it was some of their
It had some
It
work
was an important part of
to it.
it.
It had work to it because when you saw that movement and how powerful it was,
Right.
those artists, although they knew it was hot, they wanted in on that.
Right.
Which is why I like those posse tracks.
So, but I-
you ever want to get on those?
But I
those
guarantee you
posse
this.
tracks and
I
things of that
guarantee you this,
nature.
Derek. If there was a song that talked about Black Lives Matter and it became a hit, everybody would have a Black Lives Matter. So Nicki would have B on it. Fetty would have
That's fair enough.
Future would be.
That's fair
It's
enough.
just about. It's not
That's
so
fair
much
enough.
everybody's so conscious. They were kind of more conscious back then, but it made money, and that's always the bottom line about making money.
That's fair
so,
enough.
so I want to
That's
reel this
fair
back
enough.
in.
That's fair enough.
One of our Build and Destroy questions this week is, do you believe Chris Brown when he goes on Twitter and says that the media's against him and they're trying to go after him again? Do you believe him? Do you have Chris Brown's back? Or do you think this boy generally has some issues that he is not addressing and is leading to self-destruction?
Both. I'm gonna go down both. I think it's a part of him and it's a part of the media for sensationalism, TMZ. These people want to see him fail. They do want to be clear. They want to see him fail.
Yeah, they do.
But they also want to enjoy his hot music at the same time. So
Nothing like a
you know,
there's nothing like a great train wreck, especially
Right, absolutely.
when the train wreck
That's absolutely.
involves
It makes you money.
a top
when it
selling
keeps you in business, when it keeps the
artist.
TMZs and the
Here's the
bosses
thing
and the
with
world
that.
star medias in business.
And I'll counter that with this. If that's how you feel, don't have a cup with you, homie. If you know everything is on camera,
Don't
chill
give
it
them no
out.
ammo.
You
Don't
already
give them
you
no
already
ammo.
got a track record of negativity.
Don't give them no ammo.
Don't give them no ammo. Then it's not that the media is against you. The media is going to prosper.
And that should be easy
The
to see.
media
That
is
should
going
be
to
easy to
prosper
see.
because it's a
Should be.
better
That should be
story
easy to see.
to have your demise be televised than your rise. So why don't
He refuses to see the forest for the trees.
You gotta get out of it.
And if he does ultimately fall, it may be at his own design. It might be at his own hand.
Yeah.
Because he refuses to see the forest for the trees. At some point, the youth excuse, like you said. So
youth excuse is over. The youth excuse is
at his
over.
age, he's a grown age man.
And he's a grown man, and this cat has been in the industry since he's been like 12 or 13.
Absolutely. So you've seen
So he's
it.
not new to this.
You've seen
he's
it,
not
brother.
new to this at all.
You've seen it.
So you know the comparisons I see. He's this generation's James Dean. He's like a modern day James
Yes,
Dean.
yes. Fair
Will
enough.
he crash and burn like James Dean did? We will find out. I don't want that for him because I love Chris Brown.
Yeah.
I love his talent. I love what he brings to the table. But at some point, you got to get
You know
started.
what usually happens?
Yeah.
Usually right before the transformation, when the light bulb go off, is usually when
it's too late.
When the light bulb smashes.
Well, can I give you a quick example of somebody
That's a
like
clutch word.
the light bulb,
Transformation.
the transformation,
That's a clutch word.
and the light
Transformation.
bulb going off. One person that it did affect, and let's draw a comparison here real quick because we're up on against a break in a minute. But Chris Brown and Justin Bieber are very similar to me. Justin Bieber went through this crash and burn,
Very similar.
tough prepubescence transition period, growing into be a young man with a lot of money in his pocket. Bieber went through some stuff, getting arrested every other week. What is the difference between Chris Brown and Justin Bieber?
I don't think a lot. I don't see much.
I don't see
much difference. Besides maybe just the fact one is white and one's black, but I don't necessarily think the media is more fair for Justin Bieber because he's gotten slammed.
They love to catch.
But you know what I just hate though, and this goes back to my thing about wanting to take a shower at sometimes. Why when you look at Chris Brown and when you look at Justin Bieber and when you see their careers when they first got to see it as young adolescents. It was so easy to like them. And you were like, yo, those kids are talented, man.
Very likable.
You saw Justin Bieber on his YouTube videos. You saw this kid with the little page one cut, and he could sing his behind up, and it was easy to like him. The same thing with Chris Brown, a young Virginia cat.
Great smile.
Coming up, great
100-watt
singing,
smile.
and movies, 100-watt smile.
Right.
The effervescence.
Right.
Then when did they become these dirty, when does the media just put them down in the mud, then bring them back up?
I hate
The
to draw
machine
together.
does it, David.
The machine does it.
Puts them in that dirt and brings them back up. Then they're smoking and drinking.
It's that first doggone tattoo. The first tattoo goes on is downhill from there.
But conversely, you got Trey Songz.
Where's his career though right now?
Trey Songz is
Still on top of the game.
Oh, okay.
He's still on
Okay.
Top of the game.
I mean, he dropped something middle of the
Trigger is still that man.
Okay.
But you got Neo.
Well, you're going to take it in a different direction.
No, what I'm saying, these are people in his class, in his range.
They're in the realm, but they didn't share the issues that these two have.
No, I know, but I'm saying
put them together because they're similar to
no, I understand that, but I'm saying you said what's the difference between them two? So what's the difference? Is it the camp? Is it the upbringing?
Pause right there, and that's what I was going to say. To me,
what?
it's the camp. Chris Brown has a bunch of lackey yes men around him. Justin Bieber did too.
Yes.
Little Twists and all these other cats that are around him and everybody else. But you know who? The biggest difference between Chris Brown and Justin Bieber? Scooter Braun. Justin Bieber's manager. Scooter Braun stayed on him. Although he wasn't listening the whole time, Scooter Braun was like, I'm making a lot of money off you, yes. But I will make more money off you when you get to be a 35-year-old pop star as opposed to a 21-year-old, 19 that's dead.
I wish somebody would just care about
Scooter
this
Braun
kid.
is the difference. Chris Brown had a female manager that stayed in his ear, very similar to how Scooter Braun stayed in Justin Bieber's ear. But what did Chris Brown do? He fired her. They separated. And the rumor is they slept together. So how much listening are you going to do to an older woman that's managed you and then she takes advantage in a certain way and sleeps with you? I don't know. This is alleged. This is allegedly. Again. But I think the biggest difference that I see is that was part of Justin Bieber's transformation was his manager. His manager is the one that crafted and masterfully crafted his turnaround with the roast on Comedy Central, with the impromptu YouTube videos of him doing, putting his talent in the spotlight instead of his struggles.
Absolutely.
Doing a cappella sessions at smoky little clubs, coffee houses, just to get back to what made him what he
It was a
is.
stroke of genius, David.
Genius. It was
You know what makes me
genius.
agree
PR
with you?
genius.
You know what makes me agree with you?
Mm-hmm.
The Chris Brown and the Tiger album. The Chris Brown.
Oh, and
They
Tiger.
have an album together.
Yeah, they did a joint.
And it's
and it was crap. It was
and
crap.
well,
It's whack, David. You
well,
said?
Had a couple hits on it.
well,
I didn't like it.
I'll say this: production wise, flow wise, both of the guys. I'm not a Tiger fan, but yeah, whatever.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah. Sonically, I like the album. The content was deplorable the whole way through. And when you and now we having this conversation, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm thinking about Chris Brown. I'm like, you know what? He sat in a booth. He wrote. He produced. They listened to tracks over and over, and this is what they put out. And this, when I say deplorable, it was horrible.
It was bad.
They talked about the drug use. They talked about the womanizing. They talked about just being like doing whatever we want to do type
A bunch
stuff.
of beat cuts. They
Yeah,
made to an album.
but whoever did the production was on top of their game.
I don't know about on top of the game. It was alright.
Nah, that production.
Wow.
was-
Tracks
there's
were-
some joints. There's some joints.
There's a couple. There's a
You
couple.
had instrumentals of them joints. Yo, that was they did their thing.
Okay.
All
It's
right,
fair
so
enough, David. It's fair
you
enough.
know that was our first Build and Destroy question of the evening. We'll have another one as we go along. We're gonna take a quick little break and come right back. The time is 20 after 10. Snoop, what happened to our weather? You don't want to do the weather anymore?
I do.
You want to drop some weather on it?
When
we come back, we'll drop a little weather.
weather.
You know, stuff is going on outside. We're in transition.
People still care about the weather.
People still care. Is it cold, chilly, warm, hot? You know, you want to know about some weather. Build and Destroy cares about our weather. Sheena Parveen and Hurricane, they're not the only ones that can do it. We do the weather here at Build and Destroy as well. So that's right.
Style.
All right. So again, we're gonna take a quick little pause. The number to get in on this conversation: 215-472-0882. We apologize. In the weeks before, we were giving you a dyslexic number. We have since corrected that error. The number one more time: 215-472-0882. That's the Build and Destroy hotline. If you want to get in on this conversation, talk about Chris Brown, anything else going on in pop culture in today's world, we would love to hear from you. Build and Destroy Radio, WPEB 88.1 FM. We will be right back.
Yeah, I would say every now and then, Snoop.
That's building the story.
Oh, absolutely.
That's Build and Destroy
That's
Radio.
how I got
That's
it,
it.
yo.
That's
That's it.
That's how I got it.
That's it right there.
It just
That's it.
popped
Talk about
in
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
That's
go.
Yeah. So what's that?
That's
I'm gonna
what
jump.
it's about.
Let's go Holly Berry.
Okay, no problem.
And that's our second
And then we'll go to sports.
and then we'll go to sports.
You, every now and then, when we're discussing, will throw something on. As we're
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I wanted to jump in that window.
Right.
When you think that beat, that song,
Yes.
that's one of my all-time
kidding me?
favorite beats. And when I heard that, I wanted to take it right off.
Yo, this is the stuff that goes on behind scenes of Build and Destroy Radio with the little music conversations. Me and Derek love the Beat Nuts. The Beat Nuts have some of the best of all time. You go. Like, just ready to go there. The Beat Nuts. See, you gonna make me go home with the British Beat Nuts. You gotta find some Beat Nuts. Are you kidding me? Hard. Some of the hardest beats. And then if you wanna go there, Diamond Deep, some of the Diamond Deep Beat Nuts. Oh, come on, man.
I wanted to Snoop, but the way the comments, I was like,
Yes.
oh, no, it was serious in the conversation.
What did that beat in?
Shaking, taking all that stuff in the conversation. Combo.
Come on, we jumping right back in. We're jumping right back in.
Oh my God.
All right. For those of you have been watching Beats, I'm sorry.
Beat Nuts in the show.
Beat Nuts and Destroy Radio. I'm sorry. Build and Destroy Radio. We're back. WPEB 88.1 FM on your dial. Those that watch us on Ustream have gotten a taste of what goes on behind the scenes, and we just gotta we just got into it about beats. We love beats. We love music. We are distinct music heads here at Build and Destroy Radio. So we just had to pay a little homage to one of the beats that we heard during our discussion before we went into the commercial break. Shout out to the Beat Nuts. Oh man, love the Beat Nuts. Love Diamond D. Those beats just get us going. Our music director,
Corona Queens, Latino boys.
Right.
Put it down, just nasty.
Diamond D. Our lines are lighting up as we talk about things. Let's find out who this is real quick.
WPEB.
But again, this is WPEB 88.1 FM. We're about to get back into more hot topics and discussions.
Absolutely.
We have someone on the line right now. Let's jump to the phone and see who this is.
Darren Ducky Ross. Darren Ducky Ross, how are you today, sir? Duck, are we okay to record you today and put you live over the air? Oh, absolutely, Duck. Hold on one moment, sir.
We have a caller.
Yes, we do.
Caller, what's going on? Good evening.
Duck Ross?
What's happening, caller? Who we talking to right now? This is Build and Destroy Radio. Ducky Rouse, Millersville's finest.
Ducky Rouse.
Oh man, is this the legendary defensive back from Millersville, Marauder Lord?
Definitely Millersville Marauder fan. I like what y'all doing over there, man. I like the conversations. I like this little radio thing y'all doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate the love, my man.
Appreciate the support, Ducky. What's up with you, man? You been listening tonight or what?
I've definitely been listening, man. And y'all got me over here writing some things down, man.
What's good?
What you want to weigh in on, man?
Hey, I just want to weigh in on y'all talking about a lot of this society has produced folks trying to copycat the thing that's in, man. This Chris Brown thing is a testament to a lot of things that are going on here, man. A lot of folks see what they're seeing, want to be what this radio industry has created, man. And it's creating problems out here in our community.
Absolutely. So you look at that as a negative, Duck, then? It's a negative less than a positive?
You know what? I look at it as if we grew up, it was a positive, but that these young boys are looking at it as negative is not weighing the positive.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right, it is because the positive voices are being outweighed by the negative imagery. I think, Duck.
Absolutely. And here's what I think. I think that, you know what, Chris Brown's camp, like you guys said, they created this. Back in the day, you know, Chris Brown had this pure image, and that wasn't selling. They needed him to be this bad guy, and I think he went too far with it.
Definitely.
Right, and I agree. Definitely. You bring up a good point, Ducky, because let's look at the timeline of Chris Brown's career real quick. When he first came out, he was the All-American boy. You know what I mean? And you know, his camp, from what I followed from his career, they warned him against taking too much of the bad boy image, and he took it and ran with it. Like you said, he took it too far. You know, and he's alienated part of his audience. He's brought on a lot more people, but he's alienated a lot of people that love that all-American, you know, dancer and everything, you know. But that's not him. As we see, Chris Brown is a bad boy. Let's just get it. Let's not get it twisted.
And Duck, you know what, real quick, I see that you raised a good point about his previous image. I think that once he had the situation with Rihanna, he never really changed past from that situation. He got out of it legally, but a lot of people in that same position would have changed their ways, maybe going the other way with it, trying to clean up their image with it. He somewhat benefited from that, and I still think he's still in that lane. He's still in that bad boy lane. He hasn't really moved on from him knocking Rihanna's block off.
I think that negative situation, that would have been a negative situation for us, but he benefited in the
Absolutely.
positive. So instead of taking it like me and you would do and learn from it, it made him money, so he just stayed in that current situation.
How about that?
There's money to be made and pushing that bad boy image. Okay, Ducky, so let me ask you, our Build and Destroy question connected with Chris Brown is, are you still riding with him? Basically, let me adjust the question a little bit. Are you still riding with Chris Brown? And do you believe him when he says that the stuff in his cup is not scissor and the media is just after him on a witch hunt?
You know what? I'm absolutely not riding with Chris Brown. I got a young 14-year-old who loves Chris Brown, but I'm trying to get him to kind of see Chris Brown, the music guy that gets on stage, is different from Chris Brown, the average guy you want to see.
That's great, Doug.
Very true. Good point,
Doug. It's important that we teach these youth that there's a difference between what goes on stage and what goes on in real life. And here's what I think that the media is not on Chris Brown. I think that folks the folks that are really making the money are to the point where they're not protecting him. And they're letting the media do what they want to do because he's reached this point with them. I'm done with you. So whatever happens, if you do something bad, boy, and make us some money, cool. But if you do something bad, boy, and put you in, then we're done with you.
Right.
Yes.
And I don't know, Doug, this is new. I don't know if you, if any of you guys saw the Chris Brown Boondocks episode.
I did not.
And it was like an alter ego character, but it was based off of Chris Brown, and he was a bad boy, and the guy that lives across the street, the educated brother,
the lawyer, yeah,
he wanted to get like women and stuff, and the guy was like, yo, everybody was running, all the girls were running to the thug, and he was like, yo, you gotta be thugged out. And he was like, you gotta go in 7-Eleven and knock over the potato chip display and this and that, this and that. And then it came out at the end, and they were saying, they was like, yo, you ain't really robbed the 7-Eleven. And he was like, no, man. He was like, but they love it. He was like, they love it. You know what I mean? So after, like Ed said, after the Rihanna situation, I think he saw his numbers jump. I think he saw his ticket sales and tour jump because now you gotta come see the train wreck. Right. You gotta come see me now. You gotta come by. Let me put an album out. Let me put a single out right now because it's gonna be the hottest thing.
There were women saying, you can beat me. I don't care. I'll take a beating. What kind of ignorance is that for you to sit up and say, he can beat me any day? Or Rihanna should have kept her mouth shut. Or she probably did something to deserve it. Sisters saying this. Backing Chris Brown for, blacking her eyes, saying he could beat me any day.
She deserved it, right?
That's part of the ignorance stuff. That's part of the ignorance that you're talking
about. What kind of message are we sending to these kids who's looking for some leadership and some doubt?
Exactly, Doug. Leadership. Clutch word.
And that's the big problem in our community. Leadership and guidance or lack thereof, Ducky.
And what responsibility does black music, if Black Lives Matter, then we need to make them matter in black music.
How about that?
Because guess what? One of the things in black music is a disregard and a disrespect for authority and police. So when police do pull you over, and in every music video you see it, you seeing this all the time. Jesus. All these punk police, da 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 da. So now you in that situation. And now what you gonna do? Like you said, your son or your nephew from the age of 13 been seeing this. Now they driving at 19 and 20 and they get pulled over. They've been watching videos for the last 6 years, listening to music for the last 6 years. That's part of the genocide, man. It's unfortunate because we all love hip hop. Everybody in this conversation.
Music has always been big in our culture.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can't deny the influence of music.
It's always reached those who couldn't be reached, and it's reaching our youth with a bad message, man.
Yes,
and you can't deny the influence of music.
It's ridiculous, man. We're looking at kids fighting teachers.
No respect.
And we got folks on both sides of it, man. Back in the day, it was be quiet, respect them, and we handle this later.
And they're gonna catch a teacher and listen to hip hop too, and get their head knocked off. You know what? I listen to NWA too.
Duck, man, we want to thank you for calling in, man. Appreciate your opinion, brother.
Hey man, I love what y'all doing, man, and I try to listen to y'all. It's not Wednesday, but every other Wednesday.
Oh, Doug, we appreciate it. Any Wednesday is good.
Any Wednesday.
Anything that's for you, we appreciate that.
Feel free to chime in, man.
Hey, thanks for the forum, man.
Appreciate that. Tell a friend.
Hey, Ducky, guess what? You official member of the Build and Destroy family, homie.
Word.
You official.
Well, that's major. All right, Duck. Thanks for calling in. All right. We want to thank that caller for calling in, man. We appreciate it. All right. It's official. Mark it down. Darren Ducky Riles is part of the Build and Destroy team. We'll get some Build and Destroy swag out to him real soon. Mark, again, you got weather for us or what?
We have weather updates.
Excellent.
For you.
Excellent. Mark Hurricane Bennett.
Let's see if we can get some weather music jumping in. Yeah.
Hey. the weather.
What's up, Philly? Right now,
Hey,
we have a
hey.
nice balmy temperature on November the 4th of 55 degrees
All right.
currently. Tomorrow, put your sweaters away for one more day as we'll be basking in the 72 degree day. Little overcast, but we'll be out. Everybody go out for lunch, sit
Okay.
on, sit in the park and do what you gotta do.
I like it.
With a low of 61. The weekend, Friday,
Mm-hmm.
79 degrees.
Wow. Global warming.
Yeah.
Whoa!
After work,
Wow.
pull the polos back out.
Wow.
Leave your shorts in there, but pull your polo back out. Pull your t-shirt back out.
So you're gonna get you're trying to get everybody sick like I am right now.
Yeah, don't
Right.
get sick.
And now I'm fighting the cold.
But if you put the sweater and your jacket and your
You
scarf,
good. You know, your
done.
jeans.
I
you
appreciate
right.
that.
That's
You're gonna know.
We done.
Yeah.
Saturday, we drop a little bit to a little bit more seasonably temperature, 62 degrees, a little bit of rain with a low of 45, and we wind up the weekend, football day, church day, family day, with a nice 57, still
good.
gorgeous weather,
still
still
nice
good
for
for
November.
November,
Absolutely.
57 with a low of 37,
Yeah,
so close the windows back up on Sunday night. And that's your Build and Destroy radio.
Weather.
Weather.
Weather. There you go.
On the
All right.
radio.
Nice save, Steve. Nice save. I like it. All right, we had a little weather. You know what, fellas? I want to get into one more conversation before we get into our football picks. This is something that we've been trying to discuss for the last couple weeks. We are all fans of Halle Berry in the house, the beautiful Halle Berry who gets better with age. But she just announced what is she on, her fourth marriage, fourth divorce, from her former husband now, Oliver Martinez. They are getting a divorce. They were only married for 2 years. They have a personality difference, a source tells TMZ. They're just very different people. He was very macho guy, and things just didn't jive. Okay, so Holly's on her fourth marriage. She's had, we're talking Eric Benet, we're talking David Justice, we're talking relationship with Wesley Snipes that was allegedly deemed a bit abusive. So we come to our second Build and Destroy question of the evening, and this centers around Halle Berry. Is it safe to say that Halle Berry is officially damaged goods? And we want to define what exactly damaged goods is in a relationship, because what's going on now in the midst and the dust settling in Halle Berry's latest divorce from Oliver Martinez, her ex-beaux are now stepping forward and putting out some pretty damning claims in unison, basically reiterating what.
Put it on the united front.
Yes. They're called Halle Berry's Ex's Lives Matter. That's the movement that's going on right now. It started with David Justice yesterday making a statement saying that basically that the minute Halle breaks up with somebody, the exes that are left in the wake of her, divorce, whatever.
Her team. Work too.
Yes, they're the worst people in the world.
Right.
Eric Benet seconded that sentiment and went on Twitter and said, "Amen." David Justice is speaking some truth right now, and now it's coming out that one of the reasons why she divorced Eric Benet is because Eric Benet came out and said he had a sexual addiction problem.
Right.
Now he's saying, I ain't had no damn sexual addiction problem.
Whoa.
They put it out there, and I just did that to help her save face for their problems that they were having. So, again, our Build and Destroy question, our second Build and Destroy question for the evening. Whose side are you siding with? Are you siding with the exes who are speaking in unison against her, or do you still ride with Halle Berry? And let's define what damaged goods means.
I think I'm siding clearly on the other side of the exes. I always had, we liked Halle Berry, like you said, David. Always were big fans of hers. But at some point, you got to start paying attention to what's going on. Mm-hmm. When you see the pattern, and it starts being backed up by what the exes are saying, that in fact, after it's over, her team swoops in to create a situation where it seems like the ex of the man or husband was in the wrong. He somehow wronged Holly during the course of the relationship. And then now that you're finding out a lot of that stuff wasn't true, or just or gross exaggerations, or flat out lies. At this point, you start to want to believe the hype that maybe Holly is a little bit crazy.
There's something to it.
There is. I don't want to necessarily paint her with a mental illness, but there's got to be something.
Listen, man.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something.
The streets is watching with Holly Berry, and the streets have been saying that her fine behind is just a little bit. The cuckoo's left the clock a few too many times. So
you're gonna have these now. You said damaged goods. It's certainly damaged goods. You have guys coming in now like, Holly's gonna be at a bar, so at an event somewhere. Want to exchange numbers? Guys are like, you know what, Holly? I'm good.
Right,
I think I'm gonna be all right. Let's remain friends. I think I'm gonna pass the number at this point. It's great to see you.
I think that's why she had to go to France to find her last husband. She had to go across the globe to find out, because in the hood she is damaged goods.
Yeah.
So Snoop, what say you about damaged goods? Have you ever? And that doesn't just hold to females. I don't want to be sexist about it. Snoop, are you damaged goods? When you came into your
happily married, are you damaged goods?
As you went into your latest relationship with your long-term beautiful wife, were you damaged goods going into that relationship, or were you good money going into that?
Always good money,
It's good Snoop money.
Yeah, that's Snoop money. Smooth in a bottle of Glenfiddich. Let them know, Snoop.
Yeah. No, damaged goods is,
what is damaged goods?
It's a reputation that's substantiated.
Mm-hmm.
That's backed up.
Is that a negative or positive?
If this bad perception and it's substantiated, then it's negative.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about some people, and you hear, oh man, they at work in the bedroom, they work in relationship wise,
right.
They take care of you, they
right.
do this, they do that. So then you got people running to them. Then you got people
saying the
conversely,
same thing.
or you got things going the opposite.
Right.
Ah man, they're not good in the bedroom. They don't take care of you. They don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got people running away. So I don't think she'll be hard pressed. Yeah, somebody take a flyer. Somebody take a flyer. Somebody coach her up.
We're going for a workout. See what she's doing.
Listen, as bad as Colin Kaepernick is,
Tim Hightower.
People like in my system, in my camp,
I love it.
under my tutelage, I'll have her straight. So she won't be hard pressed to, but the first sign of something negative, they're gonna be like, this is what they're talking about. So unfortunately, man, I kind of feel bad for her because we had this on the docket last week, and one of the things that I was thinking about was she's gorgeous. There's no mistake about it. Male, female, anyone can agree with that. And I'll just put it out there. I think it's hard to go through life and be that gorgeous. It's a lot of things.
The burden of beauty.
Yeah, I'm serious.
So you're saying that's part of her
a lot
problem?
of things. I think so.
The burden of being
I think so. She has to be flawless at all times. She can't come out the crib with the sweats and the
Even when she does, she still.
She probably does. She probably does. But I'm saying she can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
She can't do it. She can't go to the corner store in sweats, house shoes, and a rag on her head. She can't see Holly Berry.
Yeah, a lot of the beauties that we've held up high over the years haven't had that level of scrutiny that someone like Holly Berry, or let's say, Holly Berry is one of our queens. We hold her up high.
Yeah.
She's reached certain heights that a lot of the actresses who are just as fine as her have not reached. So. Matter of fact, I'm a little hard pressed outside of the Gabrielle Unions and the Vivica Foxes and all that.
They always had a more tinge of hood to them.
Right.
So
like that girl, the girl on the way who's always fine.
Yeah, but Holly's on another level because Holly got that Oscar.
Definitely.
Holly got that Oscar, so that puts her on another level. So the pressure is there, Snoop. I feel you. That's a good thing.
And you know, so then.
But let me just say this. You know, the cuckoo out the clock syndrome has followed her long before she became a superstar.
Definitely.
You know, she's been married. Let's just get the facts straight. Her latest husband, Oliver Martinez, she met him in 2010 on the set of the thriller Dark Tide. She's been married twice before. Baseball player David Justice from 93 to 97, and singer Eric Benet from 2001 to 2005. Now, there was also the well-publicized relationship that she had with Wesley Snipes, and that's where the allegations of physical abuse came. She stated that she had lost hearing in her left ear because she was getting mopped upside the head by, it's alleged that it's Wesley Snipes. Some people put out there that it was David Justice. David Justice came out again and said, I'm not the one that put my hands on it. It wasn't me. And I resent the fact that people put my name in that, and Holly never got my back and said it was not me. So that's part of the reason why he feels some kind of way.
Sure.
But like I said, you know, she's on another level from all these other stars that are out
She
there.
wasn't married to her baby's dad, Gabriel, when it was in his name, Gabriel?
Nah, they were dating. That dude was a clown. He still is a clown. That's the one that got beat up by her husband.
Right.
And he went on TMZ with the big black eye.
Right.
Whatever. He doesn't even count because he's
Okay.
he's a baddie boy. So
I mean, a damage. I would say yes. I would say. If
So you say yes.
I would say if you are a major male celebrity, and your track record is good, everything is going good, would you want to enter a relationship with Halle Berry, and then 2 years from that relationship going official, be a divorcee? Like, it's almost inevitable. She's what's the famous female actress that had all the husbands, the older
Elizabeth Taylor?
Elizabeth Taylor.
She's the new Elizabeth Taylor right now.
So Elizabeth Taylor is definitely damaged goods.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. She's the definition when you look in Webster's. Elizabeth Taylor's right there.
She probably stacking alimony.
Yeah, but below that definition says see also Halle Berry.
That's
So
right,
she's right there
exactly.
too. So yeah, I mean, I had to say yeah, she is definitely damaged goods. You know, we all know the fine ass chick we saw across campus that you wouldn't mind dealing with, but at the same tip, when someone sees you talking to her, they get in your other ear like, you know, she's great.
The conversation goes like this. Yo, you broke up with such and such? Man, she bad. Yeah, but you don't understand. She wacko.
Yeah, exactly.
She's wacko.
Exactly.
She all that.
Exactly.
But you don't be behind closed door on the one-on-one joint like out up here.
So I mean, you know, and that's just to be fair, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of guys that carry that same tag.
Definitely.
Like, yo, he fine as such and such girl, but
Build and Destroy is not a sexist show.
no, we are not. We're equal opportunity opinionated.
We'll build
Gossip
and we'll destroy.
men as well as women. Yes, we will build and destroy on anyone. Isn't that right there?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, okay. So I would love to hear the ladies' opinion on this. Have we invited a female voice on this show?
Not as of yet.
Yeah,
We have.
we
We've had the
need
test.
our
Due to our dyslexic co-host, Mark Bennett, we've had some females attempt to call in. We've had some women attempt to call in.
Give the ladies the number.
Sorry. The number, once again, the correct number, once again, 215-472-0882, WPEB to the Lemon Drop Lounge. That is the correct phone number. So,
Yes.
ladies who have been trying to get in, and we've been getting overtures about the women trying to call, ladies, that is the correct number. We definitely want to hear a female perspective on Build and Destroy Radio.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. We don't want to seem like we're just Halle Berry bashing. She's still a friend to the room.
Absolutely.
She is still a talented female actress. She is still beautiful.
If you listen to Holly, come be an in-studio guest.
Holly would love to have you come in.
Be an in-studio
We
guest.
know you're one of our listeners.
Give your opinion.
Catch the 52 right there. There's the L. We'll get on the 52. And
We'll pay
pick
for
up a
you.
40 at
I'm
the
gonna say we won't have
Pick up a 40. Pick up a 40 at the corner of the gully. Walk in there.
She doesn't have to keep it. She doesn't have to
Pick
keep
up
it
some
gully like
40s.
that. Yeah.
We get you a whole year of daily soda.
Right, there you go. I like it.
A $3 deli bodega hoagie. Yes.
And a Dave's soda.
And a Dave's soda.
And some
Funyuns.
Some chunkies. Some chunky chips.
Funyuns.
Funyuns. I'm
Some
on
little
chunkies.
Romeo. We get you some
Little
little
Romeos.
chips. No, the quarterback. Not the 30%.
Oh,
We treat you right. We treat you right.
I mean,
Y'all are
cause
crazy.
we do it big over here, building.
Well, look, we got a little bit of
We
time.
gotta get into it.
We got to get our picks in
We
real
gotta
quick.
get
We're
one
gonna,
going.
we're gonna blaze through these
That's
real
no
fast.
problem.
The vote.
Well, I have a buy, so I'm not going to hold up the time with that.
I'm on a buy too, so I have nothing to say.
Well, look,
Well, you're not buy this
You
week,
know what it is,
son.
You know what it is. Let's get all the other games out the way.
Right, and then
let's
let's
go.
do what we do.
That's right. Thursday night. Let's get right
Let's
into
go
it.
right. Let's do what we do then. All right, we're going to pick up the picks here. So
Yes,
get right in.
yes.
Let me get some appropriate music. Some tunage here.
Starting with Thursday, November
Thursday,
5th.
November, absolutely.
NFL Week
That's it.
9.
Cleveland Browns. The vanquished Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bengals.
Snoop?
Bengals.
The Bengals were on.
Moving on to Sunday
that.
game.
Okay, Sunday game. Sunday slate. Green Bay at Carolina.
Nice one.
Good game.
That is, yeah, Green Bay's on the bounce back.
Green Bay on the bounce
Ooh,
back.
that's going to be a rumble.
I got Green Bay.
On the bounce back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Relax.
I got Carolina. I got Carolina at Carolina. Pour that out, man.
Okay, Kahuna is pick number 1.
I'm going to go with that. Washington Redskins at New England Patriots.
What?
Okay, anyway.
The Belichicks.
Tennessee at New Orleans.
And
My boy Kevin Wisenhunt just got fired. Yeah.
Saints.
Saints.
Yeah.
Snoop.
Saints.
I'm going Saints also. Tennessee's a mess. Miami at Buffalo. That's a tough one to call.
Miami.
And it's in Buffalo. David, you going Miami? Snoop.
I'm gonna go division at home, Buffalo.
Tyrod Taylor's back. I'm going Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Okay.
division at home.
Okay. St. Louis Rams at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings playing good ball, very quietly under the radar.
Yeah.
Very quietly under the radar.
They got a playoff spot today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How about
That's
you?
up to Denver in the
Today?
playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Give me Teddy Bridgewater and the boys there.
Snoop.
Even though Todd Gurley is running,
I'm gonna go the Rams. I think the Rams are a better
okay.
team, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Minnesota pulls that out myself. I'm going Minnesota.
Okay.
Jacksonville Jaguars and Jets.
Jets.
Absolutely.
Jets.
Oakland at Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Big
Pittsburgh.
Second game back.
Yeah. Pittsburgh news this one. Going that way also. Giants at Tampa Bay.
Give me the.
We got burnt last week. Don't play with Jameis right now.
How about
Don't
that?
play with them
How about
Bucks.
that?
Shout out to Crystal Angel. Don't play with them Bucks right now.
You know what? Let's take a stab. Give me the Bucks.
I'm going Bucks too,
I'm
man.
going Giants.
I'm going Bucks. Snoop, you going Giants?
Yeah.
But you like to see the Bucks win.
Of course.
And you know I like to, of course, me too. Me
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
Atlanta at San Fran. San Fran's a dumpster fire right now.
It's a mess.
Real quick, did you hear San Fran had said, there was a rumor they said San Fran said they were going to hold Blaine Gabbert out for this game but rather than last week's game. They didn't want him to play the Rams. They prefer him to play the Falcons because that's an easier defense. The Falcons caught wind of that. On their Twitter page, they said,
Really?
They said they were going to bench him last week, but they didn't want Gabbert to go against the Rams. No, Kaepernick. They were going to bench Kaepernick. They wanted Gabbert to come in fresh, but they didn't want to put Gabbert in against the Rams because the Rams got a tough defense. So they said, hold him out. Then next week when we play the Falcons, that's a better defense for him to play
I'm
against.
going Atlanta.
What?
I'm going Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm going to land with that too.
I got ATL.
Okay. Denver and
Shout out
Indianapolis.
to the ATL.
Yeah.
By the way, beautiful weekend at ATL. Shout
Oh.
out to Cookie. Shout out to Troy
Wow.
Daniel. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Jen, Trina, Les.
We're going to go ATL squad.
Angie, the whole ATL squad in effect.
You're going ATL. You
Got
gotta say hi to what's up to us.
Chano? What are you thinking?
Number
Chano?
one building
Chano?
destroyer.
Yeah.
What's good, Chan?
Goat.
The GOAT.
Down in ATL. All right, Denver and Indianapolis, fellas.
Denver.
Broncos. Oof. Broncos balling right now. Snoop.
Best defense in the NFL.
Oh, Denver, please.
Okay. Now let's get to it here. We're gonna go Chicago and San Diego first. Let's get Monday night out the way. So you guys can explain.
Monday night.
Yeah.
I'm going Bolts.
I'm going Bolts too. They're
I'm
about
going
4
Bolts.
straight.
Give me
They
Bolts.
need.
Across the board.
Okay, and the Philadelphia Eagles
I'll start this
at the
off.
Dallas Cowboys. Yes,
Start
you can
this
start
off,
this
right?
off, Snoop. What say you?
Sunday night.
What say you?
Night.
The Philadelphia
Right.
Eagles travel into
Where are we at? NFC East.
AT&T.
Can someone win some games in this division?
Somebody's
Ooh,
going to
does anybody
Step
want
up.
it? Does
Somebody
anybody
who
want
wants
it?
it?
Who wants it?
I predict a tie.
I'm with him. I'm with this guy too.
He said 0-0.
0-0. This could be called a pathetic.
What do you guys say?
I'll say it off. First off the bat. Bo knows this, Bo knows that. I think both defenses are playing pretty good.
Yeah.
Confident in the boys' D. I think both defenses are playing above their heads. Both defenses have studs on the line, a little bit of studdish at each level. The problem with the Cowboys have been offensively. I mean, right now, Tony Romo's the MVP. He's the most important player in the league to his team. I mean, outside of that,
Obvious.
you know, it's a if, it's a what if, it's a could have. But if Tony Romo was in this division right now, I bet money we run away with it.
Yeah.
I bet money we run away with it. So I think it's a must win for both teams. I mean, earlier in the year, you guys had made some predictions about the must win and that desperate pick.
Yeah.
So it's like, who's it more desperate for? I mean, it's a toss up. It's both teams have to have it.
Definitely true.
Both teams
And that's
have
going
to
to make a
have
great
it.
game for that.
Eagles are coming off of a bye. I'm gonna make a heart pick this week. I'm gonna go with my boys.
Okay.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
it's
no choice but to do
but it's nothing slanting to either
Right,
team.
you're just gonna go with
so
your
I'm
heart.
just going with my heart instead of my mind.
Well, again, we're talking about Desperation Bowl. Shout out to Joseph Randall. He talked about DeMarco leaving a lot of meat on the bone.
Yeah.
How much meat is left on the bone of you being released last
Right.
week?
Oh yeah.
He got released. So much for that statement. But anyway, moving along. This is a desperation ball. Obviously, we both really need this game. The Cowboys probably need a little bit more just because they're 2 and what? 2 and 4? 2 and 4.
No,
We're
2 and
3
5.
2 and 5. We're 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
We're in a desperation to get to 500 and eventually try and pull ourselves out of the hole we put ourselves into. Coming out of bye, we're going to see what the mad genius, the so-called genius that is yet to be seen yet, Chip Kelly, we're going to see what adjustments he makes coming out of the bye week. This is probably Chip Kelly's most important bye week in his 3-year tenure as the Philadelphia Eagles coach. Will he make the necessary adjustments that everyone is screaming for? More downhill running for DeMarco Murray. More use of Ryan Matthews out of the backfield. More use of Aaron Sproles with the wheel routes. Defense, like Snoop said, both defenses are playing well and have kept these struggling offenses in the game every week with a chance to either win the game or let it fall by the wayside. More times than not this year, it's fallen by the wayside. Heart pick again. I'm going with the Birds here. Again, as every week, it's all about what Sam Bradford is going to do. If he throws 2 to 4 interceptions this game, they won't win. If he manages the game and distributes the rock the way we think he should and can, they will win the game. Will Jordan Matthews get a catch? Or will he continue the butter hand bobbles that are haunting him all year? Nelson Aguilar comes back. Will he be a factor like everyone predicted he would be? Jason Peters is going to give it a go against the Kraken, the madman at the end, Greg Hardy, who is certifiably crazy, but he can ball.
Unbiased opinion.
Peters is going to give it a go. We'll see what happens. So I'm going with the Birds. That's my pick.
And I'm just going to go as a pure fan and enjoy this game. I'm going to say this. I think that, like you said, both you boys need it, man. You guys got to have this game. It's so critical to the long term, the rest of your season. That being said, I just feel too nervous for your boys, Snoop, because I just can't trust the quarterback play. No one has given me enough to say, if it comes down to it, winning this game. Not necessarily on a drop, but just showing a competent game of throwing the ball, getting that ball in the end zone. Where's the touchdowns been? You got Dez back, and Dez I think should have been enough to get y'all in a position to win the game. But shout out to Richard Sherman, of course, had a tall order. But just you guys offensively didn't have enough. You didn't have enough, and I feel that the Eagles, although I don't trust Bradford right now, and you guys offense, there's an X factor that's David's defense is a little bit more opportunistic right now. Malcolm Jenkins is a problem, and I think his leadership in the secondary can cause enough mayhem to sway the field position. And I think that with Sproles, you guys got enough weapons, David, I think, to turn the tide and punch it in the end zone enough. It's going to be a low-scoring game. And your defense is going to ball out some because y'all got to have it. The crowd's going to be into it as much as possible. There'll be plenty of Eagles fans there. God knows that. But at the end of the day, I just can't trust the quarterback play enough to give y'all the W. And I think I'm going to have to go with Eagles on this, man.
I can't
I
blame
gotta
you.
just go with Eagles, man.
I can't blame you.
Derek, bring the locks together.
Locks in, bring it in.
Lock it down. Oh, as you lock it down, as you crank it, where are our standings at?
Our standings right now, we all tied last week. All of us were perfect. Our standings as of right
Tied,
now.
what was the record?
Tied. The record was at 64 for you, David. Snoop 62. I had 60. So we all tied with perfect picks. We all picked 11 games right now. So that gives David you 75. Snoop, that gives you 73. And that gives me 71. So that's where we're at right now. David, you're still in first place right now.
Okay.
75, 73, 71.
Derek,
Yes.
lock it down. We spare no expenses at Build Destroy Radio.
Authentic.
Only top-notch
That's
sound
actually
effects.
how a vault sounds.
That's it. I like it. I like it. It is authentic. We'll go with it. Those are our picks for Week 9. We'd like to thank everyone who watched us on Ustream, who checked us out in West Philadelphia and Southwest Philadelphia
Can I give a quick shout out? David?
on the mighty WPEB 88.1
With
FM.
my,
Your show.
my mother-in-law for the first time watching our show.
Excellent.
Hi, Mom. Watching at home with my wife, who's getting better and feeling great
Get better, Crystal.
and looking good. So, everybody, shout out to my mother-in-law. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, we're winding things down. This has been another fun-filled episode of Build Destroy Radio through Ustream.
Look for us soon on YouTube.
Yes, we are coming to YouTube soon.
We got some clips up already, and YouTube.
Type in again.
They flow a little better for some of you.
Right.
But, be on the lookout for the Build and Destroy team on YouTube.
Yes, eventually we'll be going live through YouTube. We are up. We have archival footage from past episodes up now on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com, type in Build and Destroy Radio, and you'll see us pop up along with some other stuff, but you'll see Build and Destroy Radio. So we are available through Ustream on 88.1 WPEB FM, and now our friends at YouTube, youtube.com, Build and Destroy Radio. Type it up, check us out. We want everybody to have a great week, and always remember to build and destroy.
Shout out to the Temple Owls. Good job last week, folks.
Great
Came up a little
effort.
short, but
Great effort to TU.
absolutely. Our
We
TU
didn't get a chance to
family.
get
No,
into
we didn't, but good job. You availed yourself very well, fellas. Man, go get it.
Yes, right.
Win that AAC and get in that bowl. Get
Get that
major bowl.
New Year's Day bowl game.
Yep.
Get in that bowl game, y'all. Shout out to the Temple Owls. Great effort last week. Okay, all right, we're signing off. This is Build and Destroy Radio. Again, continue to build and destroy. Everybody have a great week, great weekend, and we will talk to you next week. Good night. Everyone take us out on Ustream.
Ustream people, thanks for watching. Bless you all. As David Snoop mentioned, we got some things coming up, so to make it easy for you guys to hang in with us, we appreciate the love and support. It's only getting bigger and better, y'all. Stay with us. We're gonna be doing some good things on this ride, and we need all your support. We really do. We appreciate it. Got a lot of love at homecoming, and we realize this Build and Destroy thing is bigger than us. So we appreciate all your love and support, and keep looking for us in the rest of the year, in 2016, to do some big things. We appreciate that, y'all. Love you guys.
Good night.
Peace.
Let's slow down. Is that